Hi guys, welcome to class today. We're going to go through a DBQ. It's not difficult at all. It's actually pretty exciting, and so I'm pretty worked up about it, and I know you are too. So we're going to investigate the historical question: were the Crusades an act of religious devotion or a desire for political and economic gain? Okay, so I want to say that again. Were the Crusades an act of religious devotion? Okay, we're talking about, I just want to please the Lord. I want to go because the Pope told me to, and I want to go to heaven. Or were people sparked to do this because they wanted cash money? All right, they wanted some sort of political or economic gain, and so we're going to look at three sources. We're going to look at the textbook. We're going to look at uh, the textbook account. Okay, and then we'll look at the two other primary sources, and we're going to compare, corroborate the information, and determine whether or not these actions by the Crusaders were religiously motivated or whether or not they were politically and economically motivated. Okay, so I want you to treat this just like we've been treating the Trayvon Martin case. Okay, and so we have to look at both sides of the story, not just the Christian side and not just the Muslim side and not just the Jewish side for that matter, but we need to corroborate both sides to find truth, and so we'll attempt to do that today. Um, and I think I will. Well, I was going to show you the father's account of Trayvon Martin's story. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but I'm pretty sure my audio is not working on this computer, so I won't show you that. But as we've investigated, the news has primarily showed, as far as the Trayvon Martin case is concerned, has primarily shown one side of the story, and that is a boy with Skittles and tea with a hood on, and then was hunted down and basically killed by a Hispanic race. Actually, he's now being called a white Hispanic, which is really bizarre to me. Could you imagine calling our president a white African American? We don't do that in situations like that, but the media has tended to do that in this situation, which is really curious to me. So we've heard Trayvon Martin's side, at least from the media's perspective. Obviously, Trayvon doesn't have a voice anymore, seeing that he's gone. We've done our part and our homework to look at the rest of the story over the last couple of days in bits and pieces. Right? I want you to do the same thing with this exercise. Let's look at the textbook, the media, quote unquote, side of the story, and then let's look at some primary sources. All right. So, step one. Um, this textbook account. This should be a handout for you. So, step one, I want you can work with a partner if you'd like, but we have a limited time today. So, it being a shortened bell schedule. So I want you to read. This is the textbook account right here, and so I want you to read through this, and then once you've read through this, I want you to answer the following questions. And it's the guided questions here, and they're really straightforward. Okay, and make sure you're thoughtful in your answers, especially with question number 5. Does the textbook point us to the Crusades acting out of religious devotion or greed and selfish ambition? So make sure you explain that answer. Okay. And so, if we want to pause the video at this point and allow the students to do that, that would be good, and then we'll continue with the next documents. All right. And so with document A and document B, these two documents are our primary sources. So without me telling the story, I want you to read, and once again with your partner, read document A, and document B, and then there are guided questions for each one. So as you scroll down, as you go through your documents, you have document A, document B, then you have the questions to document A and the questions to document B here. Okay, and so uh, this is the questions for document A: sourcing, who wrote this letter, what is its purpose, and when was it written, found in the intro there. Okay. Close reading, according to this document, what did the Crusaders do for the gain of personal wealth? All right. And then the corroboration piece, when we compare stories, right? When we compare accounts, are there any similarities between this report and the textbook? Are there any differences between this report and the textbook? If yes, and there should be, make note of that and explain your answer. And then again, here in document B, we need to explain. So this is the same quote. Document B is the same quote that your textbook provides of Pope Urban's speech at Claremont. Okay, it's a little bit more in depth, but the same quote, or I'm sorry, I should say not the same quote, but the same speech. Okay, so the quote's pulled from the same speech, but it's a quote that is totally different than what you've read in the textbook, and so take account of who's writing it, and especially when it was written, and whether or not that plays any part in its believability. Okay. And then the close reading portion of that one is according to what Robert the Monk recorded from Pope Urban's speech, what was the motivation for the crusade? And I think you should be able to find it being quite different than what we read in the textbook. And then the corroboration piece. What are the similarities, and what are the differences as well? Okay, so what are the similarities between the version of the speech and the speech provided in the textbook? I need to put, let me annotate that. What are the differences? There we go.
For the interruption, at this time I need all cutting edge students to report down by the auditorium parking lot to get on the bus. Again, all cutting edge participants, please come down now to get ready to leave. Thanks.
All right, okay, so thank you, Miss Sally. All right, one other piece here, and that is your homework for spring break. Oh my God, yeah, I know. I apologize, but it's for your own good. So your homework, after you've went through all of this, and what your homework is, after basically you find it on number 6 here. It says homework. Have students write a new textbook account of the First Crusade. This is pages 541 to 542 in the textbook, drawing from information, and you have to include at least one of these primary sources used in this lesson, okay? And so you're going to rewrite a piece of the textbook, and that piece again is the account of the First Crusade and why these crusaders went the crusading, okay? So, and make sure you can answer after analyzing these documents, were the Crusades an act of religious devotion or a desire for political and or economic gain? Okay, and so that's what we're doing today. Again, we don't have a whole lot of time to get this accomplished, and so what you don't get done here, you will carry over into spring break, and I'll have more on Schoology, and we can certainly have dialogue on Schoology if you have any questions over break. Okay, all right. Have a beautiful day. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you. I'm missing you already. Oh dear, bye. Much love.